we're looking at number 49. This will be our last one for our study guide that needed a little extensive work. So what we need to do here is find the equation that represents a circle that has a center at negative 4, 7, and that there is a point of negative 1, 9 for the distance. So let's just look at our goal. The goal is to eventually put it into this formula, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, which is equal to the radius squared. We're given everything we need for this but that radius, but we are given enough information. Negative 4 goes in that h, and the 7 goes in for the k. We need to find the distance between the center and the point on the circle. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to do it the visual way. Distance formula we could do, which I probably would do if I wasn't doing this, but the problem with the distance formula is that a lot of people make mistakes with their signs. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it up to a visual representation of a circle. So we have a circle right here. So the first thing we do is draw the center. And if you're in a testing situation, you don't have time to graph everything to be exact. So doing rough estimates like this to give you an idea is sometimes the best thing to do. So right here we have negative 4, 7, and the point on the circle would be like negative 1, which would be right here, and positive 9, which would be something like this. So the point on the circle would be that. Negative 1, 1. And of course this doesn't have to be exact, and our center is right there. So to find the radius, we're going to do something called everyone's favorite, the Pythagorean theorem. The way we're going to do that is we're going to break this distance formula up into the ruler postulate. So we're going to first find the distance between the x's using the ruler postulate, which is negative 4. So the ruler postulate says the distance between the x's will be x1 minus x2. So the distance between x1 would be negative 4 minus negative 1 minus negative 1. So we'll find the difference between these two. So negative 4 plus 1, it would be absolute value of negative 4 plus 1. So the distance between negative 4 and negative 1 is going to be negative 3. But we can't have a negative distance, and that's why we use absolute value. We get right here 3. So we get 3 right here. And now we need to represent altitude or height. So we draw that, create a right angle, because we're using the Pythagorean theorem in a second. Now we're going to find the distance between the y's. So we just did this for there. Now we need to find, do I have a different color? I guess I did. Distance up there, okay? So the difference for this distance would be, we're talking about the y's now. The distance using the ruler postulate is the absolute value of y1 minus y2, which we get 7 minus 9. Seven minus 9 gives us negative 2. We get the absolute value of 2. So now we have the two distances here. We have a 3 and a 2. We can see that our radius will be the hypotenuse on this right triangle. Therefore, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, c being the radius. So we have a squared, or not squared, we have 3 squared plus 2 squared equals r squared. 3 times 3, 9. 2 times 2, 4. We get r squared is equal to 13. Square root of 13. we're just going to keep it like this. So r is equal to the square root of 13. So from here, we can just plug everything into this formula. Now that we have the radius, let's plug it into there. So I'm going to do the answer right here. So we have right here x plus 4 squared plus y minus 7 squared equals the square root of 13 squared would give us a positive 13. So our answer for this problem is right here. That's our equation we've been looking for.